Hello and welcome. It's Meister here with another PMW, Meister World segment. Today, I've had some requests for what happens if I get lost and I can't find my way home. Well, I have about 8 different suggestions for you to help you find your way back home. And you'll have to decide which one is best for you. I'll go ahead and let you know which ones I think are a good idea. But whatever works for you is the way you should go. So today, as you can see, I am not at home by my castle. In fact, I went far, far away on purpose just for this segment. And to tell you the truth, I have absolutely no idea where I am. I do not know where my castle is from here. So, yes, you might say I am completely lost at this moment. Which is great, because that's what this segment is all about. So let's start talking about number 1. What is the number 1 suggestion not to get lost? Well, it's the easiest. Just leave a trail. You can leave a trail of torches, a trail of blocks, anything that you can look behind you, see the block, go to it, then see the next block, etc., and it will bring you back home. So the easiest thing to do is leave a trail for you to follow, just like the old breadcrumb trick. So that is number 1. Number 2, if you press F3, and I know some of you might know some of this stuff already, but I'm going to go through all 8 suggestions. Here you can see a lot of information comes up when you press F3. If you look at the second paragraph on the left, it begins with X, Y, Z, or Z for our American friends. The X and the Z are the north, south, east, west coordinates, and the Y, the number in the middle, is your elevation. So you can see if I step off this step, it'll go from 85 to 84. See? And back to 85 because I went up a step. It also tells you 3 below that, it tells you what direction you're facing. Okay, so the X is your east-west, and your Z is your north-south. Okay, so obviously, when you're home, write down your coordinates. Write down the coordinates where your house is. And that way you can always follow the coordinates back to where you are. For example, I know that my castle is at an X of 40 and a Z of 145. So you can tell I'm quite a distance from my house right now. Instead of 40, 145, I'm at 111 and 1091. So I'm quite a ways away. But you can tell if I follow a direction where the X becomes smaller and the Z becomes smaller. I don't want to fall off the edge here. But if you follow that back, it'll take you right to your house. Now the other thing is, well, okay, fine, but what if I never did write down my coordinates? What if I'm in the middle of nowhere and I have no coordinates to follow back? Well, you can still use the coordinates to get back home. And this is how. You'll have to make yourself a chest, which is basically just chopping down a tree and making a circle of planks. And you make a chest, put all of your goodies in it, and then kill yourself. And you will respawn in your bed, the very last place that you slept. And that should be back home. Now, if you take a bed with you, like I do on my adventures, because it's the best way to kind of cheat nightfall. As you can tell in the background there, we see the sun is setting, so the little creepy crawlies will be coming out soon. This is where I get my bed out, plop it down, you know, and then you can sleep looking at the beautiful stars at night. But as it goes down, you can just sleep. Sleep as soon as you can before the monsters come out, and then you never have to worry about them. And then just pick up your bed the next morning. Always take a quick look around, because it is just morning, and there could be some creepy crawlies still walking around in the shadows or on fire, or worst case scenario, we all know creepers hang out for a little while. So always take a quick look around. But anyway, to get back onto topic here, if you use a bed like I do to sleep while you're exploring, when you die, you will not go back to the bed at your house. It will say spawn point unavailable or something like that, which means you picked up your bed where you last slept on it, so it's not there anymore. So in that case, you will respawn where you originally spawned for the game. Okay, so keep that in mind. But if you write down the coordinates of where you are right now, like where you're lost, and then you put all your stuff in a chest right where you are here, and then go kill yourself by jumping off a big cliff or something, then you can follow. You'll, first of all, of course, write down the coordinates of your home when you get there, and then you can follow the coordinates back to where you were lost and get all your stuff again. And hopefully you'll pay attention how you got here this time by leaving a trail or one of the many other methods that I'm about to tell you. Okay, so there you go. So coordinates, either when you were home written down, or worst case scenario, if you're lost and you don't want to deal with finding your way back home, you can make a chest, put all your stuff in it that you don't want to lose. Now, if you don't have anything, then it doesn't really matter. Like if it's stuff that can be easily replaced, you don't even have to make a chest. Just go kill yourself, and you'll start fresh, just as if you fell into lava or something. So in the meanwhile, the next way is to get on a mountain as high as you can go to look around. And maybe you can see your house from here. What I'm going to do, if there is no mountain nearby, or even if there is a mountain, one of the best things to do is create a tower, just like I'm doing right now. You jump and place a block. Jump and place a block. And as you can tell, you can get pretty high. And you can actually, it gives you a great vantage point to look around and see if you recognize anything. Or best case scenario, you see your house in the distance. Sometimes, if you angle the map, you can see the far off spaces better. If you look in the center of the map where the plus is, you can kind of see some little rivers or whatever. But if you angle it and look in the top left-hand corner now, it gives you a much closer view of that area. So you can certainly do that with the map and give yourself an idea of where you are. Now, if absolutely nothing looks familiar, then obviously this is not the method for you, and you've gotten yourself lost a long, long way away from your house, just like Meister has today. As you can tell, we did not see my castle or anything anywhere nearby, so I'm quite a long ways away. The other method, since we're talking about a pole or a tower like that, you can make a big tower like that at your house. And then you just have to look for a really big tower in the distance somewhere. And you can also cover that tower in lava at home if you want. And then it will glow at night as well. And I'll be showing you how to do that a little later. But if you haven't done that before you left home, these are things you have to do before you leave home, obviously. But you can build yourself a little tower out here and at least look around and see if you recognize anything. So where are we here? We've done number 1, which is leave a trail. Number 2, record your coordinates when you're at home, so you know where your home coordinates are. Number 3, use the coordinates where you're lost, and then if this is, of course, if you have things that you don't want to lose because maybe you found a whole bunch of cool stuff while you were exploring. And if you don't want to lose them, then put it all in a chest and then look at your coordinates wherever you're lost at the moment. So right now, 114, 86, and 1091. Write that down. Then go kill yourself, and then you'll know where to come back to get your stuff. And that will bring you home as well. Okay? Look at that. I'm getting a little hungry, and we all know Pup Meister loves steak. So let's just have a little snack here. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. Gotta love that. Okay, so we're full again. So the next way to find your way home is a compass. And a compass will actually not direct you back home, but it will direct you to where your original spawning point was for the game. Now, my game with the castle and the underground village and where I am right now, it's all in survival mode. So in survival mode, you don't have all the stuff at your fingertips like you do in other modes that are present with the game. So in creative, I guess, is what I want to say. So unfortunately, I didn't bring a compass with me. So silly Pup Meister. But if you had a compass, it would point to where your original spawning point is. And what I was basically saying about survival mode is if you're in survival mode, you tend to build your house pretty close to where you originally spawned because you have to survive the first night. So you don't want to go too far. You basically want to get right to surviving. So usually the spawn point is really close to your house. So a compass should direct you how to get back home. Now if you don't have a compass and you don't want to kill yourself, maybe you have like a whole bunch of levels. Like I have level 24, as you see between my hearts and my food there. And that of course is just for enchanting. So if you don't enchant anything yet, then that number means nothing to you. But if you have a high number and you've been kind of saving it up and you want to maybe enchant your sword and make it magic, or enchant your armor and have better protection, and you really don't want to lose those levels, then killing yourself is obviously not an option. So what you can do is go and make a compass. Now this is of course a little more time intensive because you actually have to find what you need. You will need 1 piece of redstone and 4 pieces of iron ore. So the best way I think to find those things is go into a cave, hopefully one that doesn't have any creepers in it. Okay, oh, well there's some iron ore right there. Nobody's around. Okay, it's right by lava. I could block the lava off and mine that. Oh, okay. Or right here, let's just put another torch there. I don't want anything nasty spawning right beside me. Okay, so here we go. So we can just mine this, And there's our 4 pieces of iron. Now redstone tends to be on the deeper levels. So we're talking, you know, level 5 to level 10, somewhere around there. So you would basically have to start digging and making a mine, basically, to get yourself down there. And of course, you can use these statistics to know what level you're on. So right now I'm on level 56. There you go, 55, 54, etc. I'm not going to bore you by making a mine and going all the way down and getting some redstone and then making a compass. But you get the idea. It's a little time intensive, but if you can make the compass, then you can certainly find your way back home. And I'll be showing you a little later in the segment as I switch to my project area exactly how to make that. For now, I see it's getting nighttime again. All these trees. Okay, here's a spot. Okay, so I'm going to put my bed down again because I do not want to have to deal with any creepy crawlies. Okay, and here we are. Pick up my bed. Take a quick look around, make sure no creepers or any other nasty guys hanging out. Okay. Next are maps. Oh, there's a crafting table. So, as you can tell, I have a map here, okay? And it's an extended map. So, you have 2 different kinds of maps. You have the maps that you basically create, which will show you a small area. So you could make a whole bunch of those, and then when you step off the map, you basically activate the new map, and then that will be sort of attached off the last map. But then you'd have a whole bunch of maps with you, and sometimes it can get confusing which map connects to what map when they're all separate like that. So one way to get around that is to make an extended map. And again, I don't have the stuff here. I'll show you a little later in the segment when I go to my project area, and I'll show you how to make that extended map. But as you can tell, it's not necessarily centered. It kind of depends where the blocks divide in the game, in the map. In my case, when I made it by my castle, I got to see the upper left-hand corner of the map, which made it great to explore the bottom right-hand corner. But as you can tell, I'm that little white dot at the very bottom there, just kind of hanging out at the last heart. And I'm off my map, so even this extended map didn't kind of help me out very much. So I'll show you how to do more of that later, but that's another way. You can use extended maps, and then you can just keep track of yourself on the maps as you go exploring, and that's another way to keep from getting lost and find your way home. And then the last way, way number 8, is creating a nether portal, and that will also take you back home. But as I said, my castle, my whole world here is in survival, and unless you take the obsidian that you need with you, specifically in case you get lost, which is definitely doable if you have the obsidian handy, then it's kind of hard to get on the spur of the moment if you're lost. Unless you're in creative, of course. That would certainly work in creative pretty easily because you can pick and choose whatever you need. But my whole world is in survival. I like a challenge, and survival is the way to do it. So I'm going to pause now and bring you to my project area, and I will show you exactly how to do some of the stuff that I was talking about. Okay, so here we go. Hello again, friends. Here we are in my project world. It's creative, so it's a lot easier to show you how to do things. If you look over here, we have some of those lava pillars that you can make by your house to kind of give you an idea of where you are. So you can tell if you're in the distance, a big glowing rod would kind of be a little easier to find. So let's take a nap and build one of these in the daytime where it's a little easier. Okay. So basically what you want to do is grab yourself a whole bunch of cobblestone. Okay. We'll build one right here. Let's go out a bit. Okay. So you basically just want to build a little hole like that, and then you want to put a wall around it so when the lava starts pouring, it will stay in here. Okay, now remember, I also mentioned that you could just build a tower, in which case, you know, here you go. Here's your tower. If you're far away, you can look at the tower and know where you are. Okay? Now, if you want to make a lava tower like this, and I'll say that you're making it in survival mode, okay? If you press the Shift key while you move forward, you will not fall off your tower. Just remember to keep the Shift button down. And then you can continually move forward like this and build, and you won't fall off, and probably from this height kill yourself. So you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to kill yourself just for the sake of making a tower. So once you're this far ahead, you break off this. Now one other thing you're going to need, and of course I can just get it right here, but I'm going to need a lava bucket and a water bucket. Okay? So before you begin, make sure you have these two things. A bucket full of lava and a bucket full of water. So obviously the easy way to make that is just dump the lava on top of your tower, and it will begin to streak down the sides, and voila, you have your lava tower. Okay, and then you want to kind of get as far away as possible. And now you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's great, but now I'm stuck on one block way up high in the sky, and how do I get down? So, press Shift and move forward and keep your hand on the Shift. Remember, you do not want to fall and kill yourself. And then place the water on the side of the block. Okay? And the water will begin to flow, and you can basically just walk off into the water. And you'll go all the way down. Remember to keep an eye that you're not drowning while you're in here. Okay, and there you go. And there's another reason we put the wall by the lava. You wouldn't want the water and lava mixing here. So what do if you want to get rid of the water? Well, basically, you'll have to, build a tower. Boy, I'm not making this easy, am I? I'm not used to creative. I spend so much of my time in survival. Okay, so here we go. So basically, come all the way up to the top of your water pillar again. And what you will need is an empty pail, okay? And you just scoop the original piece of water and it will all go away. And then just destroy the one block, and then just with a pickaxe, work your way back down, and you're good. Okay? And all the water will disappear. So that's how you get rid of that. And then there you go. You've got yourself a nice, tall lava tower. And then, you know, to make it pretty, I just kind of threw a block in the corners kind of thing. If you want to make it much safer, you know, you could add a second wall so that you can't just kind of jump into the lava by mistake. You don't want to use a fence or anything like that because it will start to burn. So let's move on to the maps. Remember, I was telling you about making a map. So once you have your iron and your redstone, by the way, 2 iron makes shears. You can get the wool off of sheep without killing them if you have some shears, so you can always do that. But in order to make a compass, you need 4 pieces of iron and 1 piece of redstone in the middle, just like that. And then you have yourself a compass. Now, in order to, let's just make one more compass so that I can show you the extended maps. Okay, in order to make a map, just put paper all the way around the compass, and then you have an empty map. Okay? And when you scroll on your map and you right-click, it shows you where you are. So you see the 3 lava towers there and my little house. Okay. So if you want to make a bigger map, an extended map, like I was talking about, basically put the map in the middle and once again surround it with paper. And then you will have an extended map. Notice how much more area is covered on this extended map. And you can do it again and again and again until you come to the maximum area. So if you look again, the map's even bigger now. Like I said, your original point is not always in the center, probably very rarely in the center. It all depends where the world is kind of chopping things up. So here we're starting in the bottom right as opposed to my original map with my castle, which started me in the top left. So there you go. Okay, and then the other thing is, of course, you can just make a whole bunch of individual maps and just keep starting the new map when you come to the edge. But I don't know, I don't really recommend that too much. Now, in order to make the nether portal, which I'm about to talk to, you will need some flint and steel in order to light it once you make it. And flint and steel, very simple. You just need a bar of iron and some flint, and there you have your flint and steel. Okay? So, let's go over to where I made the nether portal. And then you can kind of see how this works. Okay, so if you've never seen one before, this is a nether portal, and it takes you to the netherworld. So if we step inside, you can see basically it's transported you to hell. But not really. We're in the netherworld. There's lava everywhere. There's some neat stuff like nether quartz and glowstone up there, which can be used like lamps instead of torches. So anyway, when you walk back in, you come back to your world, basically. Okay, so let's just put this up. Okay, that will signify our house. Okay, so this is the nether portal near our house. Now let's say we're going far, far away, far, far away, far, far away, going further and further until so far that everything starts to disappear and gone. Okay, so we look around and there's nothing except the other nether portal that I previously made. So basically, to make another portal, got to go 5 across and 4 up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. There. And then across. Okay, and then you need your flint and steel. Whoops, you don't want to drop it. You need it. You need your flint and steel, and you basically light it. Oh, what did I do wrong this time? Whoops. Okay, apparently nothing. I went in. I guess I lit it and walked in at the same time. Okay, so as you know, we were far away. So let's walk through again. And there you go. It brought us to where our house is. So that is the last method to get back to our house. It will always bring you to the first nether portal that you created and went through. Okay? So definitely an easy way to get home if you have the obsidian and the flint and steel ready to go. In creative, piece of cake, because you can get it. In survival, I suppose if you have extra and you bring it along just so when you want to go home you can step through a portal, then all the better for you. So let's just go through all 8 suggestions on how to find your home when you're lost. Number 1, leave a trail, whether it's torches or blocks or whatever, so you can follow it back home. Number 2, open the cords and find out what your coordinates are. Write them down for your house so you know where your home coordinates are. If you haven't done that, number 3 is write down your coordinates where you're lost, and then make a chest, put all your stuff in it, and then kill yourself. And you will respawn at your bed at home. That's assuming you haven't used beds while you're exploring. Otherwise, you will, again, spawn at your original spawning point. Number 4, go to the top of the tallest mountain and make a tower. Or if there's no mountains, just make a tower. And go as high as you can and look around. And hopefully you'll be able to see where your house is. And on the other side, you can always make a tower where your house is. You can see in the distance where I made the lava towers. You know, they're kind of easy to see. While I'm talking, I can back up and see how far away you can get. There, they're just disappearing there. So, I mean, you can't be forever away either with the towers, but, you know, at least it gives you something to look for. And number 6 is the good old compass. And if I'm using my compass, there, what you want to do is turn until the compass needle is facing up, and then just go in that direction. And it will, again, remember, it doesn't take you home, it doesn't take you to the bed you last slept in, it takes you to your original spawning point. And here in my project world, I just flew all over the place before I did anything. So my spawning point is far, far away and doesn't bring me anywhere. But under normal situations, point the needle so it's facing up, and then just follow it back to your original spawning point. And then number 7, we're using maps, whether a whole bunch of small ones, which I don't really suggest because you'll probably get confused with all the maps, or some extended maps, which give you a much bigger area. But even they have their limits. So, but that is another method not to get lost. And then last but not least is the Nether portal, which we just made here. Again, more for people who are advanced and have been around a while, because obsidian, if you're new, is not the easiest thing to get a hold of. You need a diamond pickaxe in order to mine it, and is basically standing lava that water has gone over. So not the easiest when you're just starting out, but if you've been around a while and you haven't heard of this and you've got lots of extra obsidian, you can certainly find your way home by using another portal. And in creative, it's a piece of cake, obviously, because everything is at your disposal. So there you go. So I certainly hope that I helped you out today. And I hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.